Hey guys, it's Jake with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the etrailer.com D-ring recessed tie-down anchor. This is going to be a great feature to add to any trailer that you might have to be able to tie down things that the factory may not have had figured in. So for example, our trailer here has 4 factory D-rings, but our customer has a longer side-by-side that it kind of skips over the factory D-ring. So we installed these for him so that he can properly tie down his load. Now with that recessed design, you're not going to have to worry about anything interfering with your D-rings. So if you're not always using your trailer to haul any equipment, you can still use it to haul, let's say, furniture for a friend. And when the D-ring is not in use, it's going to sit nice down inside this pocket. Your hole for your D-ring is going to have an 1 3/8" diameter, so it's going to be large enough to be able to easily get strap hooks on and off. These D-rings are going to have a 2,000-pound safe workload limit and a 6,000-pound brake strength. So that's going to give you the confidence to be able to tie down your load properly and not have to worry about it moving or shifting when you're headed down the road. It's also going to have a zinc-plated design, which is going to hold up to frequent use and resist rust and corrosion if you have it in an outdoor application. Now, if you do have it in an outdoor application, something I'd like to point out is we do have a 1/4-inch hole drilled here in the bottom underneath our D-ring to get rid of any water that might pool up inside this pocket. The ring itself is going to have 90 degrees of travel so that you can get multiple different types of loads tied down. Now notice here you can see our hex bolts, the heads of them are exposed. We do have another option that's going to accept carriage bolts. If you like that design better, we have them available here at eTrailer. Now one thing to keep in mind is that D-rings are not going to come with the hardware necessary to get them installed, but it's as simple as picking up 4 bolts for each D-ring. Now depending on what type of flooring that you're putting this in, our flooring was 1 inch thick, so we went with about 1 3/4 inch bolt to get all the way through and to be able to put our nut on with our backing plate. That's another thing I would recommend using. I would recommend using a backing plate. We do have them available here at eTrailer, and the bolt pattern is going to match the bolt pattern on your D-ring. It's also going to have a hole cut out for it if you have a little bit shallower floor, so this pocket can fit down through it. Now that we've gone over some of those features, let's go ahead and show you how easy they are to get in place. To start our installation, we're going to need to drill a pilot hole so that we know on the underneath side where we need to drill our holes for our backing plate. So we got our hole marked. Now we can go underneath and measure and drill our holes for our backing plate. See, our pilot hole we drilled is right here. We'll line up our plate. We're going to be butting our plate up against our frame rail so that we know our plate is going to be square with our trailer. Then we can take a ruler, and the best way to find the center of our center hole here is to take a ruler, line it up with your 4 bolt holes, and you're going to put an X in the center of this hole, and then where the 2 lines cross is going to be where you want to drill your pilot hole and then drill your hole. I will take a small drill bit and drill a pilot hole. Now we can take our 3.5-inch hole saw and follow that same pilot hole we just drilled in the center of our lower bracket. This is what's going to make your D-ring be able to go through your floor. Now if you don't have a second set of hands to be able to hold this plate while you drill your holes, it's a good idea to use a clamp. Slide the clamp up in place, and we'll use this to hold our bracket in place while we drill our holes. Again, you just want to line your plate up, the hole in your plate, with the hole in your floor. And we'll take a small drill bit and drill our pilot holes. Now once you have your 4 pilot holes drilled, we went ahead and removed our clamp. We'll pull our plate down. We're going to drill our holes out to 3/8 of an inch. Now we can go ahead and set our D-ring in place. Just keep in mind, you want to make sure that your ring is facing the direction that you're going to be pulling. So we'll be pulling to the rear of the vehicle, so we're going to be pulling this way. We'll go ahead and take our bolts, slide them into place. It's a good idea to get a second set of hands to kind of hold these bolts while you get your plate and your nuts in on the bottom. Once you have everything tightened down, you're ready to repeat that process for any other D-ring you're installing. With all that being said, that's going to do it for a look and installation of the etrailer.com D-ring tie-down anchor.